us, our very lies make us lose faith in that guy with CSI in the sky. Viewing the evils of this world, he take his time to reply. People,
welcome, Man Cave Sports Show on Man Cave Media Network with Brian Rose
and Abel Tovar.
Another week, guys. Another week. More NFC and AFC breakdowns. How'd your week go, first of all?
Good. Honestly, I can't get much done. There's a lot of sports starting to pick up about this time, so
yeah,
a lot to watch, a lot to study up on for the show.
Yeah. So the music that you heard coming in the intro was from LD. You can find him LD Music. We put a link in the description. Check him out. Good guy. First thing, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to have a little fan interaction segment. So we want to have you guys or the fans have a voice on the show. So the first question that we pose to everybody, the NFL replacement officials, are they a problem or are we just overstating it? We have interaction from Van from Los Angeles who sent in a email. He said, if the regular refs who's been doing their job for so many seasons still get the calls wrong, how can they bring in new ones? Football, easily the most complex sport on earth. Any bad call can change a game. Pay the damn refs. The damn league is greedy. That's Van from Los Angeles. You have a say-so on that?
Well, when the NBA had the lockout with the refs and they brought in scabs, the drop-off wasn't too great. But wherever they found these replacement refs for the NFL, I wouldn't even say they're college refs because they're terrible. I mean, some of the missed calls, like that down punt that was on the 5-yard line and they called it a touchback. Like, I could see, a close call, 2 feet in, whatever. But that was ridiculous. I mean, there was a good 4 or 5 yards where the ball was down and they called it a touchback. So if they're going to be making calls that terrible, or what I've also noticed is that a lot of refs aren't making calls at all. They're just hiding their flags. I mean, I haven't seen too many holding calls at all, and you can call that on every down in a football game.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, you didn't think you saw enough holding calls?
No, I didn't. I honestly, like the Niner game, there wasn't any really. I don't think they called it once.
Well, in the Raider game, there was tons. The Raiders hold anyway, but there were so many holds that weren't holds. Calls that they usually let go that they didn't let go. And also maybe it's preseason. Usually in preseason the refs call things a little bit more tight to let the guys know, hey, we're going to look at this more this season, so get ready for it. I really can't judge how, besides that punt that was clearly
that was just
messed
ridiculous.
Up. But as far as holding and pass interference, we really don't know yet till the season starts, because maybe they're letting the guys know, like, hey, we're going to look at this year, so get ready for it and adjust.
I actually like it. If they're going to cut down like on the holding calls and all that, I'm all for it, because that part of the game, to me, it pisses me off. Like when someone makes a big gain or a touchdown and they call it back for a holding. You can do without that. Yeah.
So if you guys want to chat with us during the show, you can send us a text. The text number was just on the screen there. Actually, still there. 408-471-7604. 408-471-7604. You can chat with us during the show. So we had another mailbag question. Which NFL rookie impressed you? Which rookie will have the best season? And Mark from the Bay Area said, preseason performances don't really impress me. Ryan Leaf had a great preseason debut. It doesn't mean crap. Expletive, actually. Can't really predict, but I think RG3 will have the best chance to be Rookie of the Year because the Redskins are a solid team. Just need a QB and a defining defensive back. Mark from the Bay Area.
So who do you think?
Okay, we can say preseason doesn't mean anything, right? We can all say that. But Andrew Luck looked amazing. All the intangibles, looking off safeties, things that quarterbacks don't learn to their second or third year. He did it all in 2 quarters.
No, he looked like a vet out there.
Yeah, he did. He even had an internal clock to where he sensed the pressure. He moved up in the pocket, moved to the left or the right, just a step, and then he threw the ball. I mean, that's stuff you don't learn until years after you're in the NFL.
He's definitely worth the hype that he received at Stanford. I mean, they said he was a pro quarterback playing college ball then, and honestly, he looks exactly like that. I mean, it came out and he looks like he's been doing it for years. But he's not the rookie I was most impressed with. My most impressive rookie was Russell Wilson on the Seattle Seahawks. That boy's going to be good.
Yeah.
It sucks for them because
Seahawks
they invested.
are going to be good.
Well, no, defensively, they're going to be good. I have them as a top 10 defense this year. But as far as their quarterback, I mean, it kind of sucks for Russell Wilson because they invested so much in Matt Flynn that you kind of have to play him. I mean, he had a good game too, But Russell Wilson just seems like he's going to be something special.
Well, think about it. If a guy's better, even though you invested so much money, look at Kevin Kopp's situation. He's not going to start. They already said he's not going to be the starter. Just because you invested so much money, you have to man up and say, hey, this guy's better. We're just going to eat that contract or eat that money that we owe him and move on. But I think it's too soon to judge Flynn. He hasn't even had a season yet.
But he looked good out there. And in their situation, it's actually not as bad as the Arizona because they didn't invest as much as Arizona did in Cobb.
Yeah.
And two, Wilson's a backup, so even if they don't start him and sit him, they can afford to do it because they're not really paying him anything to begin with.
Yeah, that's true. But they still have they have to name a starting quarterback soon.
As for our listener though, that says that preseason games don't matter and that when they do good it doesn't matter. I don't agree with that because if you're a good football player, you have to do good against lesser competition. So if you're a third-string quarterback doing good, it's not because you're playing against a third-string defense. It's because you're supposed to be doing good.
Yeah.
So, hopefully they move him up and they put him against first squad to see how he does against starters. But if he's playing against second-stringers, that's all he can do is control who he's playing with and, play as well as he can.
Yeah, and like I said, Luck played, with the opposing first-team defense for almost 2 quarters. So that's what was so impressive. RJ3 wasn't bad either.
Luck's not a rookie. He's an anomaly. The way he's playing, it's ridiculous. He's going to have a hell of a career. I actually got them close to playoffs, but not quite. We'll go over that later on.
Because we're going over NFC South, AFC South this week, guys. Going to break it down team by team and what we think is going to happen. So we get to that a little bit later. But we also have another mailbag question. Should the NBA fix the rich get richer rule a la Lakers? I was sending anonymously. Just got the email, didn't get your name, buddy. When you guys send us an email, send us your name and where you're from, the city. But yeah, there is a luxury tax. The luxury tax gets doubled and tripled if you keep going above the luxury tax in the NBA. So yeah, that's put there for a reason so teams wouldn't do this. But the Lakers have expiring contracts coming off the books. Paul Gasol, after 2 years, is off the books. Meta World Peace is coming off the books. Kobe Bryant in 2 years is coming off the books. So there's talk of him retiring after his 2-year, $60 million that he's old.
What's gonna be like his 19th season, so he should.
Yeah, if he doesn't retire, maybe he comes back and plays one more year for vet minimum.
Kobe wouldn't do that.
Or I think he actually goes overseas. That's my personal.
But you can't. I mean, regardless. Look, they had a chance to fix that with the collective bargaining agreement, and they didn't do it. They tried to fix it with the luxury tax, but it's not going to do it. If the team wants to win bad enough, they'll spend the money. And with the Lakers, they actually have a luxury that a lot of other teams don't. They got their TV deal. They got fans. I mean, they just got advertising. They make a lot more money than a lot of other teams do.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have the money to spend on the luxury tax.
So I'm getting text from the 714 area code saying that we need a female on the show to break the ice. And we're actually going to introduce next week. We have a new member of the team. She's going to come in and actually mediate the show. So that is coming up. And from the 714, you got your wish. Your wish came true. Send in your name so we can give you a shout out.
It's our wish too. Trust me. We've been looking.
So let's get right into it then. NFC South breakdown. Start with the New Orleans Saints.
Let's see. Overall, I got them going 10-6, and that's with the addition of middle linebacker Curtis Lofton and major losses of their coach Sean Payton, their defensive coordinator Greg Williams, and Jonathan Vilma and Robert Meacham. So I don't have them completely falling off because they lost a lot of major pieces, but they still got Breeze. So he can pretty much hold it down and be a coach and player on the field at the same time. So they'll drop off a little bit, but not a lot. I still see them in the playoffs.
Well, 10-6, that could still win a division depending on how Atlanta's going to do. But yeah, 10-6, that could win. I have them 9-7. I actually have them losing. They have a back-to-back against San Francisco and Atlanta. And I have them losing both of those games. That's probably the defining moment there. That's going to define their season.
I actually gave them the win against San Francisco, so nobody says I'm a homer.
Really?
Yeah. Because they're playing in New Orleans, so it's a home game. I'll give them that.
Okay. What about their defensive MVP? Who do you have there?
I got actually the new addition of Curtis Lofton. I actually think he's an upgrade over Jonathan Vilma, so I think he's going to anchor down the defense and hold it down for him and actually improve them on that side of the ball.
I got Harper. He nearly set a record with sacks from the safety position at 7.5. They got a new coordinator who's focusing on starring the safety in the defense. So I think he's going to have another big year, so I'm going with Harper. So what about the offensive MVP?
Breeze. It has to be.
Yeah.
He's going to make everybody better on the team. I mean, they got a deep set of running backs, but it all starts and ends with Breeze. I mean, he's going to make the nobody receivers that they have, because they're not as deep as they were last year. He's going to make a somebody out of nobody.
Yeah, and he always does that. He's one of those contract maker type of guys who, as long as you show up and do your part and show that you're putting in the hard work, Drew Brees is going to pass you the ball. He's going to find you. My offensive MVP is also Drew Brees. I mean, he broke the record last year, 5,400 yards passing. That's just ridiculous. Even though the NFL goes in cycles, every 5 years, it's running back time. You got to have a strong running back. Then 5 years later, you got to have a strong quarterback. Even with the fad pointing towards, the spread offense, 5,400 yards, that's impressive, man.
Yeah. It's not easy to do.
Yeah. So 9-7, making the playoffs is going to be iffy. It's going to be iffy. Now, the Carolina Panthers, I have them at 9-7 as well. Last year, they were 6-10. Their only problem really was their opponents' passing yards. They were 24th in the league, and they were actually pretty bad at stopping the run, too, at 25th. But they had a lot of key members hurt on the defensive side of the ball. So I have them 9-7 this year.
I got them. I don't see them taking that big of a jump. Even though Cam Newton is going to be in his second year, he's going to have a full offseason.
Yeah.
I only see him winning one more game at 7-9.
Really?
Yeah.
Really. But the thing is, like, two Tampa Bays. Of course they're going to lose to the Giants. I have them winning at Seattle. I think Dallas, it's not going to be as strong as everyone making them out to be. That game against the Raiders, which we get into later.
I got the Bucs beating them twice, actually.
Really?
It's just,
You think Freeman is going to show up this year?
There's always those one team that just kind of has your number, and I think that this is going to be that team. That the Bucs are going to have the Panthers' number.
Oh man!
I don't think highly of the Bucs. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that they're going to have the Panthers' number.
Yeah, and I mean that does happen some years. I mean, a team totally gets in your head.
Well, because like you said, defensively they had issues stopping the pass, and that's where the Bucs upgraded at.
Yeah, we'll see if Freeman can get it there. We'll see. Defensive MVP, who do you have?
Luke Kuechly, the rookie from outside linebacker from Boston College. They brought him in to put some pressure on, so we'll see how he does.
I have Charles Johnson. He's still athletic young end. His fifth year, but he's only 25 years old. He had 9 sacks last year, and he's also coming off a knee surgery, so we'll see. But he's the only guy on that team that can continuously put pressure on the quarterback. Like I said, 24th last year in passing defense. So if he could put some pressure on the quarterback, that would help him a lot. So he has to show up for him. My offensive MVP, of course.
It goes without saying.
Who else could it be? Cam Newton, man.
It's got to be Cam. I don't think he's going to have the year he did last year.
I don't think. Statistically, he broke a record. I mean, he's the only quarterback to throw for, what was it?
Over
4,000 and rush for 700. I mean,
well, he accounted for 35 touchdowns just by himself, throwing and running.
That's just ridiculous. I don't think he's going to, maybe passing, but I don't think he's going to be able to rush for that much. Defense has to account for that now.
Yeah, I think teams are going to start playing him like they did Mike Vick and even Steve McNair and McNabb, where they have a tendency to run. They're going to make that quarterback throw and beat him with their arm. Until they can prove they can do that, then they'll switch up the game plan. But I think they're gonna have somebody shadowing him all game just to make sure he doesn't take off and make him throw.
And actually, last year you look at it, they scored a ton of points. They just couldn't stop anybody. So if they can, limit their defense can hold back maybe not even a touchdown, 4 or 5 points a game. Hey, they can win. Yeah. They can win. All right, so that's Carolina Panthers. Let's head to Atlanta Falcons, NFC South. We're doing a breakdown on the MCM Sports Show. I have them at 11-5. Last year they were 10-6, so I have them 1 win better. 8th in rushing, or actually 8th in passing, 17th in rushing last year, and their opponent's rushing was 6th with 97 yards, which kind of impressed me. So 11-5 for me.
11-5. I got them at 10-6 too, tied with the Saints, but I have them with the tiebreaker.
You have the Saints with the tiebreaker.
No, I have Falcons winning the division with the tiebreaker.
Okay, and you have Saints getting in with the wild card?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I have them winning their first 4 games. Kansas City, Denver, San Diego, Carolina. I have Atlanta winning those games. And this is one of the only teams when you look at their schedule, home, away, home, away, home, away. There's no real momentum to be had.
Their whole schedule's like that, right?
Their whole schedule is home, away, home, away, home, away. It's kind of weird. There's no room to really build momentum or build cohesiveness on the road. It's home, away. They kind of got the short end of the stick there. But I still have them going 11-5 with Sean Weatherspoon as my defensive guru for that team.
Well, in the first, you said the first couple of games, I actually have them only losing one game until the bye in week 7.
Okay.
So I have them at 5-1.
Who you have them losing to?
Chargers.
Okay, I got them losing to Washington. But yeah, same thing. I got them losing only one game to that bye week, and then kind of, wouldn't say fall apart after that, but they're gonna lose some games.
And as far as offensive MVP, I got Julio Jones. I mean, he honestly, to me right now, from what I've seen from one preseason game, he's better than Roddy White. He's 6 catches and 100 yards and a half.
Yeah.
He's good.
Well, for me, I put both of them down for my offensive MVP because they need each other. They both need each other to be successful. Exactly. You can't double team one guy because you're going to leave the other guy single coverage, and then he'll get 120 yards every game, guaranteed. So I have them both down. As far as saying he's better than Roddy White, he has to show maybe 1 or 2 more years of sustained success for me.
No, I think this year is going to be his breakout year because they gave up. I mean, they gave like 5 first-round picks to get him, so they knew what they had, and he's already showing flashes of it in the preseason. So come regular season time, he's going to break out.
Yeah.
Because last year he didn't have an offseason to get adjusted. I mean, they spent that much on him, but
he was hurt too.
He played hurt.
He played hurt most.
He didn't get acclimated in time, so now he has a full offseason. He's going to know the system better. He's going to be able to just run free and do what he wants.
So, where do you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going?
Let's see. Bucs, I got them at the bottom of that division at 5-11.
I don't even have them going 5-11. They were 4-12 last year. Bottom of the league in rushing. Bottom of the league in stopping the run. Man, I got them going 2-14.
Well,
2-14, man. Their only wins. And this is I'm giving it. I want to say 1-14, but I'm giving them a win at home against San Diego, and at home against St. Louis.
Well, I would have had them higher, but the thing is, their major additions are rookies. They did add Vincent Jackson from San Diego, but they also added strong safety Mark Barron and running back Doug Martin from Boise State, which has to me the coolest nickname. He's the muscle hamster. So, I mean, if they weren't rookies, I'd give them a bigger bump in the standings. But the fact that those 2 main positions are rookies, it's going to take some time, at least a year for them to get adjusted, and then they'll really start to show signs of greatness.
Yeah, but I don't think their schedule is brutal, man. I mean, there's not a stretch I could look at and say, hey, here they can start turning around. Their schedule is just brutal. I mean, they do have a game against Minnesota, but you have AP who is scheduled to play week 1. So, I mean, man, I just don't see a break for them at all in this schedule. Their schedule is pretty brutal. So, 2-14, man.
So, who do you got as their offensive MVP?
Offensive MVP, Doug Martin and Blunt. Blunt, the young running back. They have to work as a tandem. I have no faith in Josh Freeman.
Really?
0.
None?
I mean, I did 2 years ago. They won 10 games even though they didn't make the playoffs. He showed flashes. But the next season, he couldn't complete a pass, man. And he was holding on to the ball too long. Too inconsistent for me to have faith in him. Too inconsistent. So, who do you have?
I got Vincent Jackson down. Because I think that's what his problem last year was. He didn't have any real targets. Now he's got Vincent Jackson to open it up. I think it's going to take some pressure off him. And now, too, with the running backs, with Doug Martin and LeGarrette Blount back, he's going to have a lot of pressure taken off him where everybody's not going to know it's a passing, it's a passing down every down.
Yeah.
So he's going to have a lot of play action where he'll be able to find Vincent Jackson streaking down the side.
All right. So, coming up next, we break down the AFC South breakdown. And we are brought to you by Beer Locker, apparel for sports fans who love beer and beer fans who love sports. Check out beerlocker.com now. Find your team, school, or colors. So, AFC South, Tennessee Titans, Houston Texans. We're going to break that down. Coming up next on the Man Cave Sports Show. Discover how two men expose a commission loophole, putting money into bank accounts today. With this system, you earn 100% commission, paid instantly to your bank account. You earn residually every month. You're offering something of great value. You get a free marketing system and marketing training website. Work with a top 500 company website. No talking to people, high online conversations. Earn 4, 5, or even 6 figures a month. Watch this free video that will show you this commission loophole that puts 100% direct into your bank account. Go right now and type this in your address bar, instantresidualsystem.com, and get for free how to get up to 30 members per month, earn thousands while you sleep at night, and recruit without ever having to pick up the phone. That's instantresidualsystem.com. Have you ever noticed how much easier it is to spot opportunities and pitfalls from the sidelines? Sometimes when the players themselves don't see them, immersed in the action under the emotional pressure of things changing at every moment, it can get pretty hard to see the big picture. Watching the markets as they rise and fall, especially today, is unnerving. My portfolio was up this week and down the next with the tide. I bet you didn't know there's a fund manager that can end the days of buy and hold or being all in all the time. Avoiding a lot of risk during big dips in the market and still earn a competitive return? Check out what we're all about at amsria.com. That is amsria.com. And take advantage of our no risk, no obligation, free financial plan assessment. That is amsria.com.
Life's filled with choices, but some choices that we make can cost us our very lives, make us lose faith in that guy with CSI in the sky, viewing the evils of this world. He take his time to reply.
Welcome back to the MCM Sports Show on Man Cave Media Network. Brian Rose with
Abel Tovar.
So we're breaking down the AFC and NFC South. Our division champs. Actually, I have the Atlanta Falcons, and I think you have the same thing. I have Julio Jones as my division MVP with Cam Newton as my wild card. If that guy could pull it through, hey.
Yeah, I'm going with Cam.
Yeah.
He has to be. I mean, statistically, he just has to have it.
He has an awesome year. So let's break down the Tennessee Titans. Last year, surprising, 9-7. They were 14th in opponents passing, and actually 12th in passing yards with Hasselbeck, the veteran, at the helm for him. I have him 7-9, taking a step back this year. Hasselbeck looked horrible in the first preseason game. He couldn't complete a pass. It looked terrible.
And he's looking the same way in training camp. Apparently, they're keeping stats of everything because the race is so close. Right now, Locker has 3 interceptions to Hasselbeck's 9.
Yeah, Hasselbeck looked. And I'm a Hasselbeck fan, and I'm married, and I'm forced to watch that show where his wife's on. So yeah,
what show is that?
No, I'm not gonna say.
Why?
I don't want to be.
You already gave up your man card a long time ago, man. Come on. Just
was it The View or something like that?
Oh, never mind.
You wanted to know?
I didn't know it was that bad. I mean, I thought it was a reality show. I didn't know it was The View.
Yeah, The View is a reality. Never mind. Let's not go there. But Tennessee Titans at 7-9. They start off the season with New England, San Diego, Detroit. Tough stretch. And then Houston. That's a tough 4 games. I actually got them going 1-3 out the gate, and I just don't think they recover.
Who do you got the win against?
San Diego. I got it at home. Oh, actually, at San Diego, I have them winning that game.
I got them winning the Lions game.
Yeah. You don't have much faith in the Lions. From last week and this week, I'm gathering that.
I don't.
You don't have much faith.
To me, they haven't. Well, we'll get to them, but I don't think they've upgraded a lot of key positions. And 2, their running back is Javid Best, who just
fake tough guys.
He's done.
You think they have fake tough guys on that team?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
They talk a lot, but they don't do nothing. So.
Yeah. I kind of get that.
Javid Best is he's a concussion nutcase, so he's not. His honestly, to me, his career's done.
He's super fast. He's just not durable. He's like even I'll say Reggie Bush is more durable than Javid Best.
Or McFadden.
Yeah. We'll get on the Raiders in our local edition.
If the shoe fits and hurts his foot.
So my defensive MVP for the Tennessee Titans, I have Jason McCourty. He's the Mr. Do-It-All on defense. He struggles at time in zone coverage, but that's okay because when you go into zone coverage, quarterbacks tend to target who's ever he's guarding. So he makes plays. He has the option to make plays. And if you guys have those leagues where you select a defensive player in your fantasy league, McCourty is the first defensive guy you want to look at. He bats down balls, and he has the most chances to make plays on the ball. And he has 103 tackles. So, definitely pick him up in your fantasy leagues if you guys have a defensive player type of league. Now, who do you have as your offensive MVP?
My offensive, I got Chris Johnson. I mean, he held out for that contract. He begged for it. He got it, and he didn't produce. So now he has to earn the money this year. He's got no excuse. No shortened season, no nothing. He's got a full off season. He's got to come out and earn the money that he held out for.
Well, last year he rushed for only 1,000 yards, which is is the lowest in his career. And this is last year. He sat out preseason. He sat out training camp. So, this year is going to be a little bit of recharge for him, a chance to renew that strength or power that he had in the running game as a running back in the NFL. I'm calling on him to have a redemption type of season.
See, but this is again my issue with people holding out, that he held out, got a big contract, and what'd he do? Nothing.
Yeah, you're against the players on the holding out.
This is why I would be okay. You have this season. Honestly, I would have made him prove it last season when he held out. But he has this season to come back. If not, we restructure your contract to what it was before you held out.
Man, that's just too strong of a rule to change. Wow. But I'm for the players, especially running backs. You have 3 years to cash in, and now those rookie contracts are so long. And those rookie contracts, they're not front loaded as they used to be. I think, especially in the running back position, I have sympathy for him just a little bit.
I don't want the NFL to get how the NBA is, where the stars run the league and dictate.
That's
everything.
what makes the NBA awesome.
But if you're a Laker fan, yeah. But
yeah,
I mean, it's just I don't like it. But at the same time, it does dilute the game because then you have 3-4 mega teams and everybody else is just filler on the schedule. I don't want the NFL to get like that, where you have players crying about money and then they hold out and they ruin the game. Because if you're a Titans fan, you had a disappointing season because your running back, your star player, held out.
Yeah, that's true. We'll get to the Jacksonville later because they are in the AFC South.
Right,
but
they're going through the same thing.
Yeah, MJD, Maurice Jones-Drew going through that. But right now, let's talk about the Houston Texans. 10-6 in 2011. A lot of injuries. Andre Johnson had a lot of injuries. He didn't play to his potential toward the end of the season and in the playoffs. He actually came back that last playoff game about 60%, it looked like. But I have him going 12-4 this year. I have him winning their first 6 games. Miami, Jacksonville, Denver, Tennessee, at the Jets, and at home at Green Bay. I have him winning all those games.
No, I'm exactly with you there. I got him losing against the Ravens in Week 7 for the first loss.
That's what I have too. So what do you have him at?
I have him at 11-5. I mean, they did a fantastic job last year being riddled with injuries the way they were. I mean, they lost players at every key position.
Something's wrong here, dude. We're agreeing way too much here.
Because it's the
world is coming to an end right now.
It's a neutral team. No one cares. We don't really care about what happens in Texas. So it's a neutral team. We don't have to be biased with them. But
so that last game of the season is going to be important for Indianapolis, and I think for the Texans as well. I have them losing that game at Indianapolis against Andrew Luck.
On the last one.
The last game of the season.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? We need more Raider talk.
Okay,
here.
but
I don't like disagreeing with you.
At the same time, it's because it's going to be Week 17. They're going to have their division title already sewn up, and Luck's going to come out with something to play for. The Texans aren't.
So who do you have as their defensive MVP?
Mr. PED Brian Cushing.
Yeah, that's right. Huh?
He got busted for steroids, but he's, even off him, he's still good. So I have him anchoring the defense.
Yeah, that's who I have too. I mean, Wade Phillips in his 3-4 scheme, Cushing is the guy in that defense. 4 sacks, 114 tackles, 2 interceptions even. I mean, that guy does it all for that team in that 3-4 scheme. Yeah, definitely Brian Cushing. What about your offensive MVP?
Schaub. It has to be. Even though I see he's not as important to the offense. I mean, seeing as how they went down to third string and they were still almost able to win the playoff game. So.
If Aaron Foster didn't get hurt, they would have probably won that game.
But I think Schaub still has to be the one, especially now that he has a couple more weapons on offense. And with Andre Johnson, I honestly, I would say he's the best receiver, but I don't depend on him too much. And I think he's going to go down. He's already had hamstring problems in training camp. So he's going to go down. It's going to be on Schaub to make the other receivers better than they would be with Andre Johnson there.
So I have Aaron Foster as my offensive MVP. He was a late bloomer last year. It seems like when he ran the ball, it was 6, 7 yards, 6, 7, 8 yards automatic. And he wasn't even that explosive, it seems like, when he broke the line, but that guy just had a knack for falling forward.
I would agree if Tate didn't play so well in his absence.
Tate played amazing, yeah. So, they can also go to that 1-2 punch type of deal. And it seems like Foster, the guy that wants the 30 carries, he doesn't want the 25 and share
I don't
the
think
rest.
that would work with them. Or at least work for a long time.
Yeah, we'll see.
If
he wants to stay healthy, he has to do it. He's only 25. You look at Aaron Foster and you say, man, maybe he's almost 30. No. Aaron Foster is a young back. He has a lot of good years left. He's only 25 years old. But if he wants longevity, hey, why not start now with the 1-2 back?
It's going to be either longevity or money. He's going to have to pick one. Because either he wants 2 big contracts or 2 mediocre contracts, because if he's splitting carries with Tate, the management can always say, well, you're not carrying the load for the team, so why should we give you a big contract?
True. So we'll see. We'll see what he does. But he already had discontent with it last year, so I'm pretty sure he's going to have the same type of feeling this year. So Jacksonville Jaguars, the other dark horse or dark spot of the NFL. If I was a Jacksonville Jaguar fan and if I lived in that area, there's 2 things. 1, why didn't you go after Tim Tebow harder? 2,
Tim Tebow didn't want to go.
2, why should I come to a game? Why will I pay?
They don't go.
Why would I do that? Why would I pay or spend my hard-earned money to go see that team?
They're going to be in L.A. soon. If the Raiders don't go there, Jacksonville will be there.
The 32nd in passing, let's not get on that. But they actually was okay on defense. Top 10 in passing yards and rushing yards against. So they weren't bad on defense. It was just the offense that was just atrocious. Besides, if MJD didn't get the ball passing or running, then they weren't going to go anywhere.
They had no other weapons. Now they added Justin Blackmon in the draft and Laurent Robinson from the Dallas Cowboys, who had a stellar year last year.
But who's going to get them the ball?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
You still got Blaine Gabbert, so it's...
Yeah. So who do you have as their defensive MVP?
Andre Branch,
okay.
Defensive end.
Okay.
He's got to put pressure on the quarterbacks to help out the rest of the defense, especially the secondary.
I have Paul Palunzi. He's a minimum 100 tackle guy each year. He's been in the NFL. He's one of the most underrated linebackers. A lot of people don't, when they think linebacker, they don't think of Paul, but he's awesome. I have him as my MVP. Now, offense, the guy who is probably not, it's possible he won't play a single down for the Jaguars this year, which is MJD as my offensive MVP.
And management has already said they're not gonna restructure his deal at all. They're not gonna, so he can hold out as long as he wants. He's not gonna get paid. And I'm backing them up because he already did this once. He restructured his deal and got $30 million. What else does he want? I get that he was pretty much all of the offense last year, but so what? Doesn't matter. So what? So all he's doing is living up to the big contract he already got.
True.
Now he wants more money? I don't
he wants a front-loaded contract, meaning that the money that he was getting on the back, he wants to move to the front and more years tacked on. Does he deserve it from 1 year? Like I said before, running backs have a small time to cash in, and he's seeing this time as his perfect time to cash in, especially when he's looking at his peers. Everybody got their deal done. Ray Rice got his deal done. Last year, Chris Johnson got his deal done. Who else got their deal done today with the Bears? Forte. So he's looking at his peers saying, hey, they're getting paid. I had 1,600 yards rushing. I had 500 yards receiving. It's time for me to get paid. And I don't blame him.
To me, backs in the NFL are becoming interchangeable, where you can have a committee of maybe 3 running backs that do the same thing as one superstar, and honestly, you end up spending less. You get more production, and you don't have to worry about one player getting hurt. Now your whole running core is just depleted. If one of your 3-headed monster goes out, you still have 2 that can back it up.
Yeah. But,
Because, honestly, MJD goes down, they have nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing. They didn't prepare for it. But, I think they're going to have to pay him. They don't have to pay anyone else on that team. They have the money. They have a new owner. He's supposed to be a billionaire. Who else are they going to spend the money on?
He's already got a contract, though. They're spending it on him already.
I still think that's the only reason I'll go to the game.
He's going to cave.
Putting on the jersey. You think so?
He's going to cave.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'll put money on it.
Now, the Indianapolis Colts. Now, we got to throw away their last year. All their stats we really can't look at. They really, I wouldn't say, they quit. They did kind of quit last year. The defensive stats.
No, they didn't quit. They're just that bad.
On
They're
defense,
just terrible.
On defense, I
No,
think
they sucked
quit.
all around. They just
Yeah.
were terrible.
Yeah, and he also
And their defense was out there. Time of possession in games was just lopsided.
yeah,
because their offense
yeah,
couldn't
it
move the ball.
was. That's true too. I mean, they're 27th in passing, 26th in rushing, and it showed. They let go of their running core. Liverlet, Joseph Adai is gone, so they bringing in new rookies, new players to help them on offense. But I have them going 9-7. 9-7.
I got them at 500, 8-8.
8-8. That's not bad either. And especially
for
rookies.
first year, right?
Yeah. So I have them winning their first 3 games after the bye week, losing the next 2. At the Jets got to win some games. And then I have them losing to Green Bay at home.
I don't have the Jets winning anything. I don't think if I look at the other teams, I don't think I've had them winning one game yet. I got them. Yeah, I got them losing to the Colts too.
Yeah. So Dwight Freeney, he's my defensive MVP. He's actually moving a linebacker.
Right.
Can he cover? Can he cover in a linebacker position? That has to be seen. But if he can, I don't think they're going to ask him to 40% of the time, even 25% of the time. Maybe he's in there. He's going to have to cover the rest. He's still going to be blitzing, going after the quarterback, or maybe playing man with the running back.
Well, I think he can cover because, honestly, as a defensive end, he was one of the fastest in the league all the time. Actually, the Colts had 2 of the fastest defensive ends in the league on their team. So I think the transition to outside linebacker, he'll be able to do it pretty simply. And he has the speed to keep up. Now, whether he has the ball instincts, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. The awareness,
he's
he's used to one thing, getting down in a 3-point stance and watching that ball, then going after the quarterback. Now he has to look at where the running back is lined up, where the tight end is lined up. He has to look at the different formations. A lot more responsibility with the linebacker.
But he's been playing long enough that I think it'll be easy for him to pick it up.
Yeah, I think so too. And I have him actually doing pretty well and being the defensive MVP for him. Now, for my offensive MVP, no surprise, Andrew Luck. He looked every bit as advertised in that first preseason game. And I know we're gonna get mail and people on Facebook and people on YouTube saying it's preseason. But did you see what he did?
No, the poise he had. Like, I get it. Okay, yeah, he's throwing against
Yeah.
whoever. But it's just how he played. The poise. He was never rattled. He always knew what he was gonna do. He went through all his progressions. He looked honestly like a vet out there. And this is just his first game, rookie year.
Yeah. I mean, the pocket presence he showed, like we talked about earlier, him looking off the safety, something that Carson Palmer didn't do. But looking off the safety.
You save those for me, buddy.
Things like, a quarterback 3 or 4 years down the line after looking at some film and letting go of the stubbornness a little bit, then they learn. But even Michael Vick, he's been 9 years? 9 playable years.
He's terrible.
And he doesn't even do some of the things that Luck showed in that first preseason game.
Vic admitted last year that was the first year he started studying videotape. That's pathetic.
Yeah, it is. So they I have them going 9-7. You have them going 8-8. Do they make the playoffs? I'm not ready to say that just yet.
No, I wouldn't.
Just yet.
I wouldn't go that far.
So who do you have as your division MVP for the AFC South?
Oh, let's see here. Well, if he plays, Maurice Jones-Drew, but honestly, I'd go Luck.
Yeah?
Regardless of their record, he's going to have the most impact of any player in that division. I mean, to take a team that it was as pitiful as the Colts, and even if he does bring them to 500, I mean, in his first year, that's a hell of a jump.
I have a weird one. I have the defensive coordinator from Houston, Wade Phillips. That guy's a defensive guru to me. If he could do the same thing he did last year, actually improve it a little bit, I think he'd be the top defensive coordinator in the NFL.
Well, he brought him from the 30th ranked defense to
in
second.
One season.
Right.
Yeah.
Second ranked.
So, wild card, I have Andrew Luck. He's as much bankable as you can get for a rookie quarterback. Is he going to wow you with his flash? No, but he's going to get the job done. But my division champ, I have Houston. Definitely.
Yeah, Houston.
So that was our AFC NFC South breakdown, brought to you by Napster. It's a project created by a team of developers with the goal of changing the face of social networking with a big website like Facebook, Google, and MySpace. Getting rich at your expense. Naptor wants to make you, the user, a part of a profit-sharing experience. They developed a unique algorithm that keeps track of your activity and rewards you with cash items on a monthly basis.
It's very simple. Napster earns money from advertisers, and we allocate a percentage of that money to be divided amongst the users of the website based on the amount of activity you the user, has each month. The more items you contribute to Napster, the more Napster will pay you. Items are defined as activities such as uploading photos, videos, pages, events, blogs, votes, etc. So join the new fastest growing unique social dating and entertainment site now at Napster.com. That's Napster.com.
Coming up next, a lot of NFL news, Chad Johnson news. We're also going to get into some baseball news. Which player got a 50-game ban? Coming up next. You're supposed to keep them interested, man. On Man Cave Media Network and...
Oh, yeah. Sorry. TheManCaveMag.com.
I love you, man.
I'm all over the place here. Sorry. And go.
Here we go. Come on, Ron.
Stay on it, producer.
Hey, listen up. Lingerie Football League, the fastest growing professional sport in the nation, then we have an app for you, Ultimate LFL. With Ultimate LFL, get the latest news, videos, and Twitter alerts on the Lingerie Football League. Always stay up to date and in the loop. Ultimate LFL, only available in the Google App Store. Download it now. Ultimate LFL. Double your money in 8 to 10 weeks. Everyone makes money with us, period. No selling, no phone calls, no sponsoring, no recruiting, no experience necessary. Over 200% of return in 8 to 10 weeks can be set up to run on autopilot. 30 days, no questions asked guarantee. This system has already paid me $700 in 4 weeks. Wow, and no sponsoring required to earn. Just visit bannersbroker.com/TMF. That's bannersbroker.com/TMF. Join today and start earning this week guaranteed. bannersbroker.com/TMF. Still not satisfied? Still need proof? Visit this YouTube video below. You'll see many more verifying proof of payments from Banners Broker. Lots of them. Best business online that works for you while you're out doing other things. bannersbrokers.com/TMF.
Viewing the evils of this world, he take his time to reply. People worship themselves, even praise their own thoughts. Such an independent mind, there's no need for a boss.
Welcome back to the MCM Sports Show with Brian Rose
And Abel Tovar.
So, Chad Johnson arrested.
Idiot.
Then, shortly after, released from the Dolphins.
Sad man.
Now
Sad man.
The story is someone found a box of condoms in someone's car.
No, not somebody. His wife found him.
Allegedly,
his wife found the
allegedly someone found
No, his wife found him.
And then found the receipt. What an idiot, first of all.
That's
How do you
dumb.
have a box of condoms in your car with a receipt close to it?
3-pack, buddy. You don't buy the box.
Yeah, well, idiot.
No receipts. Pay cash.
Why was he buying so many? What the hell is he doing?
Huh?
Why did he buy
Oh,
so many?
that's what I'm saying. Buy a 3-pack.
Yeah. So, then shortly after release.
Wait, have you seen the girl he cheated with?
No.
I saw a picture. Like I said, you know.
Now, how did
was
she
doing-
find all that out?
You know, people find out. I mean, it's not,
Girls are more. I swear.
Someone's gonna know.
If
She's probably, if he's dumb enough to do it, she's probably dumb enough to talk about it.
If
So.
Bin Laden cheated on a female from
We
like
know.
New York
We would
or
know.
Bay Area, we will find him. I swear in like 24.
We
We
would know.
would have found
Yeah.
him sooner than we did.
No, the
But-
girl. Oh man, like I said, every morning, you know, I like the gossip website, so I go to this website every morning, and they had a picture of her.
Uh-huh.
And if you look at her, I mean, she's just this skinny little beanpole of a girl. I guess I can compare her to she looks like one of the Olsen twins when they were doing drugs.
Man, maybe times are hard in Miami.
That's what that's
Times
honestly
are hard in
it's a
Miami,
very
man.
it's a good comparison because
Maybe
if you were to see the picture of her, it's pretty bad.
But he just made. Well, this is a guy who's never been arrested, never so much got a ticket probably.
Well, he
even
did have actually a domestic battery charge in college.
in college.
So it's it was more than a decade ago, but it's a second one of of a pretty serious offense.
Now, do you think Joe released him too soon? No.
First of all, he's not that good. I mean, if he was good, more teams would come after him than the Dolphins. And honestly, the problems that he had in New England to me are just you can't forgive him. When you have a problem learning a playbook, there's no place for you in the NFL.
That's true, and there was word of him having trouble with the playbook even in Miami.
Exactly.
When even watching Hard Knocks, going up the middle, he was short arming the ball. He didn't want to fully extend to catch it, afraid of getting hit. Things like that.
And how stupid!
At the end of your career, you know how to catch it and fall. He was trying to fall before he caught it.
He's more trouble than he's worth.
He didn't live up to his own hype. That's what I would say. He didn't live up to his own hype.
But you saw him on Hard Knocks with the cussing, the F-bombs, the porn star reference. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Why would they want to keep him? Especially if you're not doing that good, then why would they keep him around? It's more trouble. More trouble than he's worth.
And some
Did you see him get kicked off there?
Yeah, that was pretty sad. Joe didn't even look him in the eye.
That's hilarious.
He didn't look him in the eye the whole time. If I was Chad, do I feel sorry for Chad? Yes and no. I mean, he did headbutt his wife. Any type of violence against any type of female, I'm not for. But the way that his life has gone the last 4 or 5 years, even though he's brought it upon himself with his antics, even though, hey, he's not in trouble. He hasn't been until this point in trouble with the law. But all of his antics off the field has caused him being released a couple of times.
And
last three teams.
Well, yeah. Now, do you see him getting picked up by anybody else?
This year, I would say no, unless a team has an injury early in the season and they need someone right away that can catch and run. And Plexico is picked up. If Plexico is picked up and someone has an injury to their main wide receiver early in the season, he has a chance. But he can go to jail for this, and I don't think a team's ready to take a chance on a loudmouth guy that can go to jail. So I don't know. What do you think?
I think Evelyn's a genius. That's what I think. I think the woman he married, even though she's hot-headed, as if you watch her TV show, she's a genius. I mean, this worked out absolutely perfect for her. I mean, she destroyed him and made herself a career at the same time because he got kicked off his team. She's probably going to profit from all this. She's probably going to get some kind of show, even though they canceled their reality show.
It's probably going to be a book.
Yeah, something. Yeah. She can find something to profit off this. Yeah. And she gets a divorce. She's going to get money now from the divorce, even though it's only 40 days. She's still going to get something because I guarantee that Chad didn't have a prenup. If all his behavior shows how smart he is, then I doubt he had a prenup. So she's going to make out like a bandit in this. She's going to go off, take his money, and just be happy. And he's going to be broke as hell in a year.
And I wish, Chad should have had smarter people around him. He had to have watched the shows, with her in it. He should have never married her, and she should have never married him.
Yeah,
I don't think they were compatible.
You can say that, but from experience, we've all had those people that we probably never should have been with. Shut up.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say a darn thing.
We all know. So even if you had smarter people around him, you don't listen. When you're blinded.
I was just, trying not to hide off camera.
I won't blinded by what. Just say blinded.
So, what rookie quarterback looked most impressive in his preseason debut? We kind of touched on that. RJ3 looked okay. There's actually Tannehill. Yeah,
he looks good.
Yeah, but to me, probably again, which will probably be Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson actually had an awesome game too, and also they had some rookie running backs. I can't think of his name. I'm drawing a blank. On Indianapolis, he was just doing awesome.
Oh, I didn't see the last part. Once Luck was gone, I was just, all right, change the channel.
It made me realize how much of Joseph Adai was an east-west runner, and he spent most of his time jib-jabbing his feet than going north-south.
I never thought Adai was a good running back.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too, but because of Peyton Manning, masked so many errors on that team last year.
Exactly.
Yeah, or unveiled so many errors when he left, I should say. Shaquille O'Neal discusses Dwight Howard. He says, big shoes to fill in Los Angeles. He said he tells his kids all this, this all the time. If you want to be a big man, you have big shoes to fill. So he says that, hey, you know, I won championships. Wilt won championships. Kareem won championships. I mean, the list of great bigs for the Los Angeles Lakers goes on. I don't think he thinks Dwight Howard is tough enough mentally to carry the Lakers to championships.
I think Shaq's he's messing with Dwight's mind right now. I think
so?
he's adding additional pressure, and he's letting him know, hey, I won championships there. Like, anything less than what I did, you're a bust.
And you gotta okay, Kobe Bryant copied Michael Jordan. The fadeaway, the hanging in the air, the slam dunk contest, the tongue out. At times, Kobe does have his tongue out. Now it turned into the little snarl or mean face mug that he has with his teeth out. So Dwight Howard did the same thing to Shaq. Nicknames are the same. Superman, the tattoos are pretty much the same.
A lot of that's
the
Dwight's
guy,
fault. Same
team, and then coming actually be traded to Lakers. I mean, following his footsteps.
Well, that wasn't so much his choice, but yeah, there's a lot of parallels there that honestly aren't helping Dwight out, because he added a lot of that pressure to himself. But now I think Shaq's taking digs at him where he's gonna honestly embarrass Dwight every chance he gets.
So let's listen.
They didn't like each other. I mean, make no mistake about it. They didn't like each other.
Actually, Shaq kind of tweeted that when there was word that Dwight was going to stay in Orlando, he tweeted that, hey, I'm happy the big man's staying in Orlando, as a shot saying, hey, I'm glad you're staying and not following in my footsteps. But then after he finds out he's coming to L.A., he says this. Let's take a listen.
Any comments about the subpar junior Superman coming from Orlando to Los Angeles, trying to follow your career path?
Yeah, I always tell. I have 3 sons. I always tell them, if you want to call yourself,
next one over. Yeah.
You have big shoes to fill. So anybody that calls himself me really has.
Shaq mumbles too damn much.
Right now he's off pace, so he needs to get back on pace and he wants to call himself me.
All right, so Shaq talks like he's a baby on heroin. So we really can't understand what he's saying, but what he's saying is basically he has big shoes to fill, and he's already behind pace. But I don't think so. 3 Defensive Player of the Year already with Orlando, and he is a year younger than Shaq was when he came to the Lakers. So is he off pace?
I don't agree with those, though.
No, I don't.
I think he
so.
got those by default. It's not that he was the Defensive Player of the Year. There just wasn't anybody else that really could have won it.
I don't know, dude. He erased a lot of mistakes on their team. I mean, he blocking, even though he didn't control block shots, which I love, and I think that should be a stat the NBA should keep. Controlled block shots, but he did erase shots close to the basket. So, do you think that he will win 3 championships with the Lakers, equal Shaq?
No, but only because, well, it depends. You know, I think he has maybe 1 for sure this upcoming year and 2 in a row. Because Kobe's still there. But once Kobe's gone, I don't think Dwight's going to be able to carry this team on his own.
I think it depends on who the Lakers put around Dwight after Kobe's gone.
Right.
And if Mitch is still there, believe you me, he's going to put or do what's possible or whatever he can to put a good team around him. And they're going to have to show him that, you know, for him to sign that contract, because he knows Kobe's time's coming to an end. He has to ask the question, what are you going to do for me once Kobe leaves? That question have had to come up already. I'm pretty sure of it.
Well, if they saw how they handled this offseason, I mean, he shouldn't have to worry about that. There'll always be talent around him in L.A. It's not going to be like it was in Orlando where they try to save money and put talent at the same time.
No one wanted to go there.
Well, yeah, that too. I mean, L.A. does a lot of recruiting just by itself, just being the city that it is, you know.
Just like he said he was at the hotel and he was just walking around Beverly Hills and everyone was so nice and telling him to come to L.A. When you walk around Orlando, I guess he wasn't getting any type or anything close to that type of attention he was getting in L.A. So, Tyrann Mathieu of LSU busted for marijuana again. So the team,
was it marijuana?
Yeah, it was marijuana.
Oh, what the hell?
Substance abuse. They make it sound so bad. But yeah, marijuana again. But this wasn't his first time him testing positive for a substance. I want to say it's happened 3 times. Yeah.
But marijuana?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
A banned
Why are we even having this conversation?
In the NFL
I get it's banned, but it's come on now.
They said
how many people smoke weed in the NFL? Bunch of people.
Yeah, at least they're smart about it.
Right. I mean,
but he has a couple options. He's kicked off LSU. He really can't go to another team that's in contention like USC, which I'm sure would be glad to have him.
No, he'll have to go to Division II if he plays. If he wants to play this year.
Yeah, if he wants to play this year, a la Cam Newton. Cam Newton did the same thing. He went to a Division II school. I think he should focus on the NFL, get his mind right, focus on himself and his family, and try to better his image even during this college season, and then focus on the NFL.
Yeah, but not that I know personally or anything, but the last thing you want to do is give a pot smoker just a bunch of free time. So I don't think if giving him a year off is going to do anything to help him with his chances in the NFL.
This is the thing. If he's not going to play college football and he announces that, he can start hiring agents and get an investor to invest in him to put him in a better place, so mentally he can focus on the season and start training for the NFL combine. So as long as he announces it, he can start hiring people and not have to worry about sanctions from the NCAA. So that's what he can't do it on his own. That's obvious.
Well, this is it's going to say about what he chooses to do is going to say a lot about him as a person, his character, because the best option for him is the hardest one would be to sit out the entire year, continue to attend LSU, and then come back and play for LSU next year. If he goes to a Division II school, he still has the talent to make the NFL, but he's going to drop down into the later rounds because everybody's going to question his character and his off-the-field antics, and nobody's going to want to take a chance on him. So he's going to cost himself money by doing that. So by sitting out, he's going to make himself a lot more money. And honestly, if he comes back one more year and plays, he'll be a top 10 pick. Easy.
And yeah, I think so too. I mean, he's easily the top, or was the top defensive back or top defensive player, period, in college football. So, he will be the top 10 pick if he sits out, I believe. As long as he has a good interview and has good test scores, he'll be okay.
I mean, don't get him. They'll try to dick him with that and try to make him drop down because of that, even if he does stay at LSU. But I think,
of course, they try to sway people away from picking him because they want to pick him up.
Right, get him for a bargain. They want to get him for a bargain.
So we also have Cabrera, Milky, the milkman, out in Giants land for all you Giants fans. Banned for taking tests.
It's all good. It happens.
I think that for him to obviously he was looking for a bigger contract. He was looking to get paid next year, and the team was going to pay him. But for him to take testosterone, knowing that's the easiest thing to catch, why would he do that? Why would he put himself in jeopardy? Why would he put the team in jeopardy?
Do you know what happens to your body when you take testosterone?
Yeah, like little anger problems.
No, your nuts shrink. No, they shrink because look, when you put testosterone in your body, your body stops producing it because you're getting it from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So your nuts start to shrink. So that alone would be more than enough reason. I mean, honestly, it's the reason I've never done roids. I have a lot of friends that have done them growing up, and that alone, I'm sorry, I would never do it. but I mean, there, at the same time, I didn't have a $40 million contract online.
True.
So I sacrificed both my nuts for $40 million, maybe.
Yeah, they were looking at $200 million contract, and everybody knows in baseball, when you sign a contract, that's your money. There's no cut and release.
Giants.
And when you sign a contract in baseball, like I said, it's yours. You get to keep that no matter what happens after that. So, hey, I can understand kind of, but for him to put his team in jeopardy and himself in jeopardy, there was just too much risk versus reward to me.
Well, he's done with the Giants as it is now. I mean, they're not going to re-sign him after this. He's going to be gone.
Yeah, and the Giants are in jeopardy because they lost against the Nats 6-4, and then the Dodgers won today 9-3. Was it? Yeah, 9-3. So that means that
there's still like 40 games left. Who cares?
I think that the Dodgers are now in that position to take over that division.
Oh, man, we're in a close race 40 games ago.
No,
watch out.
There's not going to be a close race.
At the end here.
Okay, you got to think about this.
Jesus.
He was batting .340, right? Batting .340, 50 ribbies already. You guys are losing that for the rest of the season. That's hard to recover.
But we got Hunter Pence. I think he's going to make up for it. Not as well, but we're not going to drop off that severely. And then you put Pablo at the number 3 spot.
I say that batting .340 with that many RBIs, you think about how many runs over how many games left?
40-something.
40-something games left, which you're going to lose, 19 runs? And you guys don't score that many runs to begin with?
Who's to say he would have ever hit another ball? It doesn't matter.
Dude, he was batting free. He was the MVP of the All-Star game.
Look, Hunter Pence is going to step up.
If he never got caught, he could have got MVP of the National League, dude.
Yeah,
that's a big player to lose. That's like the Lakers losing Kobe and saying
no, that is not the same because he's not even the Giants' best player. Posey's the best player on the team.
He might be the most important, but the best player was Milky.
No, we'll see. The drop off's not going to be. They could probably use it for a rallying cry or something and
well, they
show
didn't
the
use
rest
it today.
Well, that's because Lincecum was pitching. I mean, that's what happens when you have somebody that smokes weed. You make him stop. He doesn't know what the hell's going on out there anymore. So
I don't know.
Producer saying that.
Yeah. So I think the Giants probably seen their last days on top of the division this season. I think now it's the Dodgers division to lose. I think it's too much to overcome. You only have one pitcher who's really showing up.
Let Kemp make it a whole season without pulling a hammy, and then come talk.
He's okay.
To me.
He's fine.
He's okay now.
He's fine now. Then we have Hanley Ramirez.
He's a trot to first base away from being hurt.
Hanley Ramirez is balling. You have Victorino hitting leadoff home runs now. We're balling.
We'll see. We're
balling. So we want you guys to chime in on Twitter at MCR Sports Show, or you can give us a call or a text message 408-471-7604. 7604.
Right, that looks like a 5 though, does it?
Yeah, it does kind of look like a 5, but it's a 6-year ugly giant
7604.
Ugly giant oranges in there. Put some Dodger
I didn't do
blue
set design,
there.
all right, buddy.
All right, so coming up next, we talk about the Raiders and the 49ers. We get a pulse of the nation coming up on the Man Cave Sports Show.
And you can catch us on themancavemag.com.
Yeah. I forgot to put the music on.
Where'd it go, buddy?
Life's filled with choices, but some choices that we make can cost us our very lives, make us lose faith. In that guy with sits high in the sky, viewing the evils of this world, he take his time to reply. People worship themselves, even praise their own thoughts. Such an independent mind, there's no need for a boss. While I look to my Lord and I carry the cross in church every Sunday, so they claiming I'm soft. I'm like, you really tough, guys, it's still on your waist. Make you appear to be bigger, guess he gave you some weight. Got a clever disguise and you claim to be wise. Poker face, foolish mind, plus you slimmer than fries. Why be somebody else? It's hard enough being you. Learn to focus on yourself, be sure to stick to your roots. Am I there for your enemy? Cause I tell you the truth. Get some knowledge, have some wisdom, let it do what it do. It's gotta be.
It's gonna go to commercial. You're
Welcome back to the MC Sports Show with Brian Rose and Abel Tovar. So the Raiders had the first preseason game. The Niners had their first preseason game. One team looked good. One team looked horrible.
So wait, before you go any further,
okay.
What have I been saying about Carson Palmer this entire offseason and since last year?
Where do you want me to start?
Use the exact words I said. What do I call him?
Many words. I don't even know what you call him. A lot of things.
He's
a lot of things I can't even repeat on the
interception machine.
Yeah.
What did he do with his first long pass?
He threw an interception.
A bad one.
Yeah, it looked terrible. Quite honestly, this is my new role with the Raiders. I'm not going to be as much as a fanboy as I used to be. I'm going to be honest with them.
It's impossible.
I'm going to keep them honest actually as well. But the way that Carson Palmer has showed, or what he has showed in the preseason game and what he showed last season, even though I have to give him kind of a break, the way that he was just thrown in there into the fire, but he showed no difference or no type of change moving forward or moving toward the better in that first preseason game. He looked terrible. Keep in mind, Jacoby Ford did miss 2 passes. Yeah, he should have caught. But I think...
Oh, you mean the great receiver that all the Raider fans claim he is?
No, I think that's Hayward Bay's better receiver than Ford.
Oh, yeah, that's saying a lot.
But he needs to improve fast, and I mean fast. Even those passes to Jacoby Ford were a little behind and a little high, so that can improve too. But he's not throwing down on the ball. He's not throwing with confidence to me. That's the biggest thing.
He just has terrible decision making. I've said it since last year. You saw that interception. He didn't look off the safety at all. He stared at that receiver all the way down the field and then chucked the ball.
Yeah.
It was an easy interception, and honestly, it made that defensive player look better than he really was.
He didn't look off the safety. The safety just ran over to. It was a bad play design and a bad play. But Carson Palmer didn't help the cause by checking down. He saw the cornerback going over there, but he thought that the receiver was going to make a play on the ball that poorly thrown. It didn't make sense.
Well, then Carson, like his fans, must think that it's still 2005 and he has the arm that can get it in there. He can't. He's fallen off way too much. Say what you want about him coming off mid-season off the couch, whatever. He's had a full off season and he's still making the same mistakes that led to 3 seasons with 20-plus interceptions. And it's not going to get any better. I'm sorry. Honestly, I would throw, and this isn't saying much, but to me, chuck the season, throw Pryor in there, and let him learn by fire.
Pryor looked ridiculous. There was a I don't remember who was even in running.
But at least he
back
could play moves. He can make plays with his feet.
It was a simple 5. Well, he was scrambling a little bit, but the running back ran a 5-yard hook, right? And he just sat there because there's nobody covering him. He found a soft spot in the zone. Pryor threw a 5-yard pass 3 yards.
No, he made a bunch of bad plays.
I mean, it was constantly that way. So, but keep in mind, he didn't play last year. He didn't get any reps last year. So he's coming into it almost as a rookie this year. But still, he didn't even show. He couldn't even really move as well as I remember him moving in Ohio State. So I have no faith in Pryor at all. So if that's the Raiders' answer, then I don't even want to ask the question.
As far as your new coach, I'm sorry.
Their defense is a step. No, their defense was
horrible way to start.
Their offense was awful, god awful. But their defense looked great. They switched. It looked like they were playing 3-4. Then at times they were playing 4-3. And it looked like they were playing 5-2. So they were running 3 different schemes there sometimes. But they were stopping the ball. They were stopping the run, things that they couldn't do last year. I know it's preseason, but I have to find some type of positive in that 0-3 dismal of a game. But, yeah, they did show promise there, especially in the run defense. And McFadden looked awesome.
See, I'm sorry. I can't. If you're going to be realistic, then you have to be realistic about your team because I can't give them any credit for defense because the Dallas Cowboys offensive line is so terrible. So it made the Raider defense look better. That's why they're able to stop the run, and they sacked Tony Romo 3 times.
Yeah, their offensive line is dismal. But at least they're putting that effort. You know, last year it was the missed tackles or the missed people being in the wrong position or the wrong defensive play was called completely. You know, I didn't see that last night, and that was a step forward. Even Gruden is attending some of the Raiders practices now that Al Davis is gone. He can actually roam the field with the Raiders, and he's actually saying how the culture's changed and things are looking different. So am I going to keep them honest moving forward? Of course I'm going to keep them honest. I'm going to be give them more constructive criticism, though. I'm not going to be the fanboy that I was before. Definitely not. Also, you want to say something? Say it.
We'll see. I don't believe you can do it. I'm sorry. I think you're going to overlook certain things because they're still your team. You're going to be a homer in some way. It's just the nature of being a fan.
I probably will. I'm going to be quite honest.
I don't think either one of us can turn off us being fans. We just can't do it.
But I'm almost completely had it with Carson Palmer. I mean, that was ridiculous, what he was showing in that first two series of the preseason game. It was terrible. If he doesn't have confidence throwing the ball, why is he out there? And it's obvious he didn't have confidence throwing the ball because he didn't get on top of the ball when he was throwing it.
I think the problem is he has too much confidence and not enough talent to back it up.
The way that the ball was just getting away from it, it doesn't seem like he had any confidence to me. It seemed like he was almost scared.
No, but he thinks he can get it in those windows. That's why he threw that terrible pass. He thought he could actually beat a double coverage with the shorter Jacoby Ford and still get it in there.
We'll see. Apparently, the offensive side of the ball loves him. He's actually
Come on.
If you look at the reports actually in the interview we had with the game today.
And they love Tebow in New York. What's that mean? Nothing.
New York is a whole different animal.
Nothing.
But he's actually the team barber where he's etching genitals in the rookie's hair. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Carson Palmer. He's the team barber.
Wow. The ball barber. He's the nut barber. That's what you're saying.
So that's the only thing he can do well right
now.
Wow. But what about your 49ers?
What about them? Jeez, I don't know them that detailed. I mean, I saw what I saw on the field. I don't know who's shaving whose nuts, but
no, shaving their genital in their hair, like they called it the pecker.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Either way, it just doesn't sound right.
They did it in Hard Knocks too.
Hey, whatever. All right.
Apparently, it's a thing
to do
for rookies.
As far as the 49ers go, in the first preseason game, they looked like they picked up where they left off last year. I mean, honestly, it's hard to say that they. I mean, I knew they were going to be better than last year offensively, but to me, it's going to be ridiculous how much better they are because their committee of running backs is going to be unstoppable. They have 4 or 5 running backs they can go to, and everyone has a unique feature that they bring out there. I mean, you got Brandon Jacobs, who's got size and speed. You got Kendall Hunter. You got the power runner in Gore. You got LaMichael James, who could just break anything open.
Now, LaMichael James, I think, is going to play a bigger role. But I don't see Brandon Jacobs. He doesn't have he doesn't have the speed he has. He does have power, and sometimes it takes 3 or 4 guys to get him down. But he's not going to beat you to the outside.
But that's the thing. He doesn't have to. He was brought in as a short yardage back. In the preseason game, they only ran him when it was 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. It was short yardage, and he ran the ball 4 times, and 4 times he got a first down.
So to me, saying that getting all these running backs, I don't think Gore is as healthy as everyone wants to make it seem.
That's fine.
So I don't think he's going to even get 20 carries a game, to be quite honest.
He shouldn't.
But for him not to get 20 carries a game, the question is going to be Alex Smith, and he did actually throw a red zone touchdown.
Thank you.
So if he could do that in the season, if he could do that when the season starts, then that would be great. But that's the only knock I really have on the guy.
Alex
he doesn't.
Great.
Great?
He looks great. He went 3 for 3.
Looked great. Okay. He's not great.
3 for 3.
Great. Okay.
No, he's going
totally
to be great.
Different statements.
He's going to be great this year.
He's going to be great. So what do you call great passing yardage wise? Give me a number.
For okay. See, I don't think yardage makes you great though. I don't think Cam Newton's a great quarterback just because he put up 4,000 yards.
Of course, yardage makes you great.
No, it doesn't.
That's what
Alex said about Cam Newton. How many yards does he have, and how many wins does he have?
He does. He had 4,000 yards passing, but the yardage does. No, okay. Let me start over. Yardage does make a difference.
Nope.
He had 4,000 yards passing. They put up a credible amount of touchdowns, a credible amount of points. The problem was their defense. So that doesn't make him a bad quarterback if you don't have a defense.
That's why he has so many yards then, because his defense was terrible. He was at the end of games always throwing.
His defense doesn't. He can throw the touchdowns. He can't control what his defense does.
Yeah, but at the same time, he was always playing from behind.
No, he wasn't playing from. They're most of the time they're in the game. Their defense get in there in the 4th quarter and they lose it. They can't stop anybody. They weren't playing from behind.
For Alex to be great, all he has to do is what's asked of him in the game plan. And honestly, I see maybe a close to 4,000 yard season, but I'd say more around 3,500.
And I don't in the quarterback league where everyone's spreading everybody out. I don't think that they could. If their defense can hold up like last year, which they had historical numbers for their defense last year, and if they could do the same thing this year, they have a shot. But I wouldn't put them as the NFC champs.
Why not? Who's going to beat them?
You can look at the Giants again. You can look at the Chicago Bears is who I have coming out of the NFC.
The Giants have lost players on offense.
They did lose players on offense, but you still have the top 3 quarterbacks.
Oh,
and
yeah.
also, if you have a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, you can negate all your problems. You look at what Peyton Manning did to the Indianapolis Colts. But I don't think you have the same thing in Alex Smith, where everything has to be perfect for them to do well offensively.
Okay. Giants lost players, and they were good last year. And the 49ers still beat them, and were one fumble away from beating them again to go to the Super Bowl. So the 49ers got better. The Giants got worse. Why would I think that they're going to give them trouble?
You still got to play the game. You still got to play the game.
But I mean, just logically, why would I think that
because
they're better this year?
You think about this when it's down to 2 minutes left to go, and the quarterback has to drive, which is what it comes down to when it's 2 good teams. I have faith. It's always that. You have the 49ers. They're not going to blow you out the water with points.
Why not? Why? That's what I'm saying. This year they are going to be that team.
This year they're going to blow you out the water with points.
They're going to blow a lot of teams out because now their offense has stepped up and their defense
I'm talking
is the
about
same, if not better.
In a one playoff game against Chicago Bears, you're not going to blow them out. Against the Giants, I don't see them blowing them out. Against maybe Green Bay, because their defense is terrible if they play like last year. But maybe they can get into a high-scoring game or something like that. But I don't see them blowing anybody out. I see them playing tough games, winning the game by running the ball, and then surprising you by passing the ball. That's how I see them winning.
Okay, with as limited as their offense was last year, you wouldn't see them blowing out anybody last year, did they?
I'm talking about good teams in important spots of the season. No, I didn't.
Well,
most important.
I won't say the Bucs are a good team, but to beat a team 48-3,
the Bucs are a terrible team.
Okay, but you're going to see scores that are more like that in the 30-17, where we're scoring 30 a game. They have 17.
Well, the Bucs were the worst defensive team in the league last year. Bottom and everything. So, yeah, you can't really judge anything by that game. But I will say this. They will be there when it comes down to playoff time. But I'm saying in the league today, which relies so heavily on spreading the offense around, can they score? The question is, can they score enough points? Do I think they can score enough points? I'm not ready to give that answer yet. I still have to see a full regular season game to see how they all can do. But I don't see them beating the Giants, or I don't see them beating out the Bears. If the Bears can stay healthy. Cutler is a
they're already down Urlacher.
Yeah, they are.
Their defense is already hurting.
They are.
Briggs isn't what he used to be.
Oh, well, I didn't put Briggs. I don't think New Orleans is going to be that much of a factor. Briggs. He's still going to be there. I mean, you can say things about Harrison. Everybody thought Harrison was going to lose his step. He's still there.
He's already out, too.
Briggs is okay.
Harrison's out, too.
I think Briggs will be fine, dude. I think you guys have to worry about the Bears more than you think.
I think people underestimate the 49ers and don't view them as a physical team, and that's where they get tripped up.
No, they're a physical team. I think that's the only way they if they're going to win the NFC, they have to be physical. They have to beat you up on offense and then beat you up on defense.
And that's what they do.
And that's what they're going to get.
And they did it last year with only one offensive threat, really, in Vernon Davis. Now they got multiple threats. And
once again, we're going to have to see if Alex Smith can get the ball to those guys.
What else do you need to see?
Can Alex Smith throw a bomb to Moss? That's what I want to see.
Okay.
That's what I want to see.
You'll see it. I guarantee you by the third preseason game, you'll see that.
Regular season, dude. Regular season.
Here we go.
Regular season. Who's their first game against this year?
If the Raiders would have won their first preseason game, I'm pretty sure that preseason games would have counted then.
No. I'm being honest with my team. I know that actually I had them 9-7 this year, and looking at that first preseason game, I'm looking almost like an idiot saying that. But I'm strong enough to say my team isn't good. But when your team does the same thing, are you strong enough to say that your team isn't good?
My team's not going to do the same thing as the Raiders do. Okay, my team's not going to do the same thing.
Are you strong enough to say, okay, maybe they are going to have trouble being the NFC champs? That's all I want to hear. I'm not going to say
it's going to be easy for them, but I say that they are going to do it.
They are.
To me, they're the team in the NFC to beat.
Okay. So that remains to be seen.
Right.
I don't think so. I think there's a lot of teams better with a better quarterback, which decides. What are the last? Okay, let's name the last 4 Super Bowl champions. What was their quarterback? They're all top 5 quarterbacks.
Okay, so
can you say Alex Smith? Can you say Alex Smith is going to take you to a Super Bowl? Can honestly.
Why do you guys?
Because it's true.
Why do you talk about him like he's Tebow? Like he can't throw a
I didn't
pass
say he's not Tebow.
Yards.
He's
but
not
that's
a
how
top
you talk
5.
About Alex Smith.
Top 5
he had
quarterbacks win you Super Bowls
and 5 interceptions.
It doesn't. He threw for 3,500 yards.
31.
Matt Schaub threw for 30.
Doesn't matter.
Threw for 3,500 yards.
He had
missed
Andre
4
Johnson.
games. He missed 4 games.
He had Andre Johnson.
But I'm just saying, the Super Bowl winners always have someone at quarterback that is great. Can you say the same thing?
Do they really? Who quarterbacked the Bucs team that whooped your Raiders?
The last 5, I said. That's 11 years ago. I said the last 5.
It usually works out that way, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Like I said, when we said earlier, the NFL goes in shifts. Like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, the running back was king. Everybody had to have a dominant running back to win the Super Bowl or to have a chance. But now it's a shift. Everybody has to have an awesome quarterback.
No, they don't.
Look at who.
That's what I think.
Okay, you have Tom Brady, Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers.
See?
Are you gonna put Alex Smith in there too? No,
I don't have to put him in there. I don't have to put him in there. Okay, you have Drew Brees in there, right? Who did he beat last year? Did he play Drew Brees' game and beat him at his own game? Yes or no?
Did they win? Did they
he
win the
beat Drew
NFC
Brees at his
Championship
own
game? Did they win the championship
I
game
don't
that
care.
they
I'm
had to
asking
beat?
you about did he
No,
beat
no, no.
Drew Brees at his own game?
We're talking about playoff games when your quarterback
Can you
has
answer
to
my question?
He beat him in the regular season. But
No,
I'm
he
talking.
beat him in the playoffs at his own game.
Oh, that's right. You did beat him
At
in the
his
playoffs.
own game.
You did. I
Okay.
give you that. I give you that.
So it's not
But-
like he can't throw the ball when he has to.
But what happened? What happened in the game in the game against the Giants?
Look, he still had a good game. It was on third down. It wasn't good, but look, here's
Exactly.
the difference. Here's why you're knocking Alex Smith and why everybody else does. The league is moving to spread. Everybody's going 4 or 5 receivers. The 49ers are doing the complete opposite. They're going power ball, 2 tight ends, running back, 1 maybe 2 receivers.
Exactly.
They're completely going against what the league's doing, and that's why
Exactly.
they're going to be successful because everybody's gearing up to stop the spread. Nobody's going to be ready to stop power ball. They're just going to bully everybody and get gains of 4 or 5
If
every
they
time
would
they
have
run.
did it last year,
Alex
they
doesn't even
had
have to
they had a bigger team last year.
Alex doesn't have to even throw 30
They
times
had
a game.
They had a bigger team last year. Why didn't they win?
What are you talking about? They're bigger this year.
No, they're not. They have a more athletic, faster
They
team
got a
this year.
defensive end at tight end in Dobbs.
I'm telling you this. Yeah, I'm not debating if the 49ers have a good team. Yeah, they have a good team. Yeah, they're a 12-13 win team. Of course they are. But I'm saying when it gets time in the playoffs where Alex Smith has to drive the team 80 yards with 1 minute and 45 seconds left.
Like he did last year twice.
And I'm talking in the playoffs,
In the
bro.
playoffs, in the fourth quarter against the Saints. He did it already.
Okay,
He did it 6 times last year.
Okay, but not Peyton Manning. His brother did it 7 games in a row to take him to a Super Bowl. Can Alex Smith do that?
He did it 6 times last year. It wasn't all
No,
in a row
no,
because his team wasn't down.
If they lose, if there's 7 games last year, I know we're going on and on, guys. We'll
care,
get
let me
going. there was basically they had a 7-game playoff where if they lost, they were either out of the playoff contention or they were out of the playoffs. And every game he was great to bring him to the next level, take him to the next level, take him to the next level. And that's what it takes, a quarterback like that, for you in these days of the NFL to win.
No, because then you have a quarterback
also
in a game plan where you're not behind.
I left out Ben Roethlisberger also in the last 5 quarterbacks.
How did he do against 49ers last year?
Yeah, they didn't win the game, but I'm
3
saying
points against us.
once again, playoffs, bro. We're talking about playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger did the same thing where it was 2 minutes left. You knew he was going to drive his team down the field. When there's 2 minutes left and Brady has the ball, you know for sure there's 7 points going up.
Exactly.
Peyton Manning, you know there's 7 points going up. Eli Manning, you know there's 7 points
And
going
with
up.
Breeze, right? And with Breeze, too.
But this is what I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm man enough to say I'm not going to be a homer with my team. I understand that my quarterback isn't great. You have to understand your quarterback isn't in the top 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 quarterbacks in the league. You have to realize
I'm
that.
not trying to rank him. I'm trying to say he can do
So
things
you're
and he's
saying-
done
you're
things
saying-
that you say he can't.
You're saying that when there's 2 minutes left in the game, there's 4 or 5, or there's yeah, okay, let's take a game
Give
by
Alex
game.
the ball.
You think he's going to do it?
He just did it last year. Why
If
are
he
you
did
ignoring
it,
that?
if he did it, you guys would have been to the Super Bowl.
We had a chance to go to the Super Bowl because he did it against the Saints. And how's he going to do it if
It
our
doesn't-
returners fumbling?
I'm not okay. The Saints. The game after that. What about the game after that? Right?
about
You
the
beat
game
the
after
you
that?
beat the Saints. Yeah, congratulations.
He had us in that
Seahawks beat the Saints the year before that.
Oh,
Congratulations. But what about the game after that?
The game where they lost not because of Alex. That game? You mean the one where Kyle Williams fumbled 2 punts and gave and those points were the
What
difference
about
in the game?
it did come. You can say okay. 2 plays, maybe it come down to 2 plays. But
Maybe.
what about all the third down options and plays before that?
He was 1
What
for
about
13.
the red zone
Right.
attempts before that? You got to look at all that, not just look at those 2 fumbles. You had many chances to win that game, but Alex Smith didn't deliver. You have to realize that the only weak link in your offense is your quarterback. You have to realize that.
Okay, let's put a bet down there.
I'll put a bet down. What are we betting?
I'll say 3,500 yards,
That's easy.
20
That's,
no,
who
I'm
can't
not
throw
doing it.
3,500
and 24
yards?
touchdowns.
24 touchdowns, 3,500 yards.
24 touchdowns. If you're
Why
going to
would
say Alex is the problem,
Give me
24
4,000 yards.
Why the hell would I get?
Can't if a
they
rookie
why am I
can
gonna
throw for
say a
4,000
quarterback
yards?
that runs power ball is going to throw 4,000 yards? It's not needed of it.
If a rookie can throw for 4,000 yards, I think Alex Smith.
If a
can run
rookie's
4,000.
playing spread offense and is down all the time,
he's not
he's going to throw. For
He
yards.
ran for 700 too, so now he didn't always throw the ball.
Yeah, he ran because they're in a spread, and when everybody's out guarding the receivers, he has the lanes to take off.
Give me 3,900 or something like that. I'm not going to take anybody. Schaub threw for
Touchdowns
3,500
are harder
with
to get
missing
than
4
yards.
games. I'm not going to take 3,500
I'll go
yards.
as far as 26 touchdowns then.
If I look,
500 yards, 26 touchdowns.
let me just break down how little 3,500 yards was last year. That had to have been in the bottom of the NFL. No way
It wasn't in the top. It's the mid. But I'm saying 3,500 yards and 26 touchdowns.
I take the touchdowns, but I won't take that low of yardage.
He has to get both. I'm saying he's going to get both.
Well, of course he'll get 35. If he throws for 3,500 yards again, you guys are going to end in the same thing, losing the NFC Championship game or the division game.
He had a career year and he only had 3,100 last year.
Or 30. That's even worse. There's no
Okay, so I'm saying he's going to do better 35 and then 26 touchdowns. So to you, yards are more important than touchdowns.
I'm just saying how easy it is to throw the 3,500 yards today. But
And
especially with the
get 26
NFL rules,
touchdowns.
you can't touch the receiver and you have Moss.
So if you're saying that, then how can you say that yards is
So, okay,
important
let me
if
do
it's
this.
easy to get? Well, how's it important then?
Yards are important.
No,
but here it
you're
is.
saying it's easy. It's easy for him to get 3,500. So what's to say 4,000 is not? If it's spread, of course it's easy to get 4,000.
Because
why do you think you have four
that extra
quarterbacks over
500
4,000?
yards, that extra 500 yards in Alex Smith terms can be 3 or 4 games. That's why I'm saying that.
You had almost 3 quarterbacks last year throw for 5,000 yards.
Yeah,
three
you
of
did.
them. Three of them. So that's
record-breaking year.
That's just because that's the way the offense
in
is
the
already
record-breaking year where quarterbacks were throwing tremendous amount of yards, your quarterback threw for 3,100, and that's why I'm saying that you have to realize the
now.
weakest
Who had the
link
most
in your
yards
offense.
in the league last year? Who had the most?
Drew
had the most?
Brees did.
Drew Brees. Who got beat in the playoffs by Alex Smith?
Yeah. The Niners beat him.
Oh no, Alex Smith beat him. Smith beat him at
Alex
his own
Smith
game.
didn't beat him. Your defense beat him, man.
Okay.
And what happened the game
Our
after
defense
that?
that gave up like
What happened
400
the game-
yards passing
The
and
beautiful
35
thing about
points?
the NFL is you can't just have one lucky Sunday and win the Super Bowl unless you're the
And you can't go 13-3 by being lucky.
You can if you take the world by surprise.
Oh,
Let's see him doing this.
We
shit.
were no
But
surprise after week 6. After we
the beautiful
came back
thing
and beat
about
Philly.
the NFL is you cannot win the Super Bowl
geez.
off one win.
This is ridiculous.
Drew Brees lost to Seattle the year before that, dude. Do you think that they're a great team right now?
Did he get beat by Seattle because they threw on him or they ran on him?
They got beat because they weren't
Because
ready.
Marshawn
They
Lynch ran
took
up
them
and down their
They
asses.
took them for granted, and they were not ready.
Marshawn Lynch
Same thing
ran
that
up and
happened
down
for your
them.
team. Andrew Brees. Man, you got to realize when the season comes in, I'm going to bring the stats for you, and I'm going to compare it to the rest of the league.
How did Alex
so we
Smith
can-
look in his first series on the preseason? How did he look? Just answer that. How did he look?
He didn't look bad.
Okay.
He didn't look bad at all.
Okay.
He didn't look bad at all. But once again, it
Apparently
is
the red zone, right?
preseason.
Because what you were even said, the red zone, he can't do anything in the red zone. What did he do in the preseason?
Okay. So when
Was
the
he
season,
not playing starters?
When the season,
Wasn't he playing starters?
okay, let's put. Do we count the preseason in touchdowns? Are we going to count that red zone touchdown when the season starts, or will we look at the end of the season how many touchdowns he got? No.
When you and other people talk about him, you act like he's just inept. He can't do it at all.
I didn't say that. You're selective listening when you're talking about your team.
I'm
I
selective
said
listening. You still
he's
haven't
not-
answered my question about who beat Drew Brees in the playoffs.
I just told you who did. But look, he's not the top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I wouldn't say he's the top 12 quarterback in the NFL. I wouldn't say that. But is he bad? No, he's not bad. He is a viable quarterback. But if it came down to 2 minutes left in the game, will I have faith that he could drive the team down there? No, I don't. That's the only problem that I have.
How many comebacks did he have last year? He had 6. 6.
Okay,
Almost half
look at
of their
your division.
wins were
Who
comebacks from
those,
him.
Who were those teams that they were playing against? And what was their defensive record where they were playing
Really?
against? Yeah, really.
Who do you have the comebacks against?
You have who? I'm asking you.
He had one against the Giants. He had it against the Saints. He had it against the Eagles. Are those teams in our division?
Did you guys lose? Okay.
Are those teams
All
in our
right.
division?
Okay, we're going
All right,
round
then.
and round in circles.
So your
again.
argument's for
there
naught.
are
It's
there
for
are
naught.
in your division.
It's for naught.
But when it
Not the
comes
teams
down
he had
to the
against-
playoff time, okay.
He had it against the Lions. Are they in our division?
You talk about me being blind when it comes to homerism. This
You're
is you
saying-
right now.
You're saying he had against our teams. They did.
Okay. So you guys tell us what you think. Go ahead and hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. But I have manned up apparently to say that have actual realism what's going on with my team and my positions and what positions are weak. But my partner over here still can't come to realize that his quarterback isn't top 10 quarterback.
All you're doing is stating the obvious, and so am I. That's all. That's it. You're just stating the
You're
obvious
not
about your
stating
team.
the obvious.
Look, I'm telling you that Alex doesn't have to throw for 4,000 yards for the 49ers to win a Super Bowl. He just has to do what's required of him, play within the system. They're going to be running, honestly, 60% of the time.
So
it's going to be exactly how the preseason
So you're
was.
saying that the 49ers are the team that's going to break the mold of it being a quarterback league. This is the year that this is the year,
No.
and this is the second year coach in the NFL that's going to break the mold.
No, then
Okay, then
they're breaking the mold
like I
by
said,
playing Powerball.
Big Ben, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Eli Manning, and Tom Brady. Those are your last 5 Super Bowl quarterbacks. And you cannot put. I have trouble putting Alex Smith at number 6, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Look, Alex has a superior team than any of those that you just named. All the way around. Special teams, defense, and offense. At every position. We have people that would... Honestly, your Raiders, nobody on the Raiders would start on the 49ers.
Position.
Nobody. Maybe McFadden if he stayed healthy.
Besides running backs, which the New England Patriots don't run too much anyway, but by surprise sometimes.
Okay, and what happened to them? What happened to them when they're getting rushed? They got
the Patriots have a better. Hold on, the Patriots have a better offense than your Niners do.
No, they have a throwing offense.
Yeah, they do. That's what wins Super Bowls, bro. Super Bowl to win a Super Bowl, you have to have a quarterback that's gonna throw. But we're out of town. We gotta go, guys. We continue this later on the Man Cave Sports Show next week. I'm pretty sure we're gonna argue again about the Niners and Raiders every week, like we always do. But I'm Brian Rose,
and I'm Abel Tovar.
All right, see you guys next week.
Have a good one.
Oh, next week we got our new show coming up, so make sure you guys watch. We got a surprise for you.
I hate your guts, Brian. I'm out of here. I'm pissed.